The black sun is a type of sunwheel, German Sonnenrad, symbol originating in Nazi Germany and later employed by neo-Nazis and other far-right individuals and groups. I'm making this video because it seems like the neo-Nazis and Hitler's regime, like it's making the mainstream. And a lot of people think it was such a good thing or that Hitler was right. And my philosophy is that both sides, no matter how good or evil, especially obviously evil, but it doesn't matter how good or how truthful or how right a side may seem. It was permitted by people at the top of the pyramid. And the black sun goes back. There's other names for it. The black cube of Saturn, the black hole sun, the dark sun. The swastika symbol, the seal of Solomon. And I think both movements, conservative, liberalism, independent, alternative, both movements, no matter what other names you may call them, as long as they have a mainstream platform, I think both movements are a back of these movements is the occult, secret societies that permitted these movements to happen and that were probably infiltrated and hijacked for their nefarious, sinister purposes. To bring back the occult into the mainstream, to have it practiced again. This time a final world order, new world order, one world religion, one world political ruler. The New Age coexist world religion. Mark Booth, in his book, The Secret History of the World, says that back then in the ancients, their view was mind before matter, as opposed to now, it's matter before mind / classical physics. But back then, quantum physics, the law of attraction, all these ideas that are becoming mainstream now, that was normal back then. And I think that all of this is to have what was ancient back into the mainstream, because through movies and TV series and music, these pagans, they are coming back out into the mainstream. And I think one of the first starters of such a movement was the LGBTQ. The so-called coming out the closet. I think that's a subtle sign for pagans coming out of the closet, coming out of hiding and revealing themselves. Taking off their dark cloaks. They're coming back out into the mainstream. They're coming out of the woods. And so the Nazi symbol, it reminds me of the black cube of Saturn. I think it goes back to Saturn. And I don't think there's any way Hitler could have gotten so big unless his movement was permitted. It was brainstormed. It was designed. It was already made to be that way. The symbol's design consists of 12 radial sig runes, similar to those that made up the SS logo. It first appeared in Nazi Germany as a design element in a castle at Wawelsburg, remodeled and expanded by the head of SS, Heinrich Himmler, which he intended to be a center for the SS. The symbol appeared nowhere else in Nazi Germany. It is unknown whether the design had a name or held any particular significance among the SS. Its contemporary association with the occult originates with the 1991 German novel Die Schwartzy Sonny von Tashi Lunpo, the black son of Tashi Lunpo, by the pseudonymous author Russell McLeod. The book links the Wawelsburg mosaic with the neo-Nazi concept of the black sun invented by former SS officer Wilhelm Landig as a substitute for the Nazi swastika. Wawelsburg mosaic and the Nazi period. The symbol that later became known as the black sun originated in the early 20th century, with the first depiction being the Wawelsburg mosaic. In 1933, Heinrich Himmler, the head of SS, acquired Wawelsburg Castle near Paderborn in the German region of Westphalia. Himmler intended to make the building into a center for the SS, and between 1936 and 1942, Himmler ordered the building expanded and rebuilt for ceremonial purposes. Himmler's remodeling included the Wawelsburg mosaic that was composed of 12 dark green radially overlaid sigrunes, such as those employed in the logo of SS, on the white marble floor of the structure's north tower known as the General's Hall. Although today referred to as the Black Sun, the Wawelsburg motif is itself notably not black, and the intended significance of the image remains unknown. As scholar Danielle Seep summarizes, there are no known sources from the National Socialist period that provide information about the meaning of this symbol intended at that time or about its name. Some scholars have suggested that the artist may have found inspiration for motifs found on decorative Merovingian period discs from Central Europe, which have been suggested to represent the sun or its passing through the year. Seep says, however, that such a connection has yet to be confirmed through reliable sources. Neo-Nazism and far-right. In the late 20th century, the black sun symbol became widely used by neo-fascist, neo-Nazi, the far-right, and white nationalists. The symbol often appears on extremist flags, t-shirts, posters, and websites, and in extremist publications associated with such groups. Modern far-right groups often refer to the symbol as the sun wheel, or Sonnenrad. The name Black Sun came into wider use after the publication of a 1991 occult thriller novel, Die Schwartzy Sonny von Tashi Lunpo, The Black Sun of Tashi Lunpo, by the pseudonymous author Russell McLeod. The book links the Wawelsburg mosaic with the neo-Nazi concept of the Black Sun, invented by former SS officer Wilhelm Landig as a substitute for the Nazi swastika and a symbol for a mystic energy source that was supposed to renew the Aryan race. A number of far-right groups and individuals have utilized the symbol in their propaganda, including the perpetrator behind the Christchurch mosque shootings, Brenton Tarrant, and Australian neo-Nazi group Antipodean Resistance. And the symbol was displayed by members of several extremist groups involved in the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia. Along with other symbols from the Nazi era, such as the Waf's Angel, the Sig Armanen rune, and the Totenkopf, the Black Sun is employed by some neo-Nazi adherents of Satanism. Scholar Chris Matthews writes, the Black Sun motif is even less ambiguous. Though based on medieval German symbols, the Wawelsburg mosaic is a unique design commissioned specifically for Himmler, and its primary contemporary association is Nazi occultism, for which Nazi satanic groups and esoteric neo-Nazis adopt it. Yeah, anything that has to do with mystical teaching, mystical religions, I'm skeptical and I'm on guard of, because the spiritual source that it comes from, that it's influenced by, isn't the light isn't the source in the Bible. It isn't the light of the God of the Bible and of his son, the sacrifice that his son made on the cross for all of humanity. I think it's the counterfeit light of Lucifer, the son of the morning star, the light bearer, the torch bearer. His counterfeit light, the illumination that the Illuminati believe in, that they ultimately worship. Quantum physics, mystics, spiritualism, the occult, paganism, all this stuff, the New Age movement, all this stuff is made, advertised in a way to tickle your ear and to tell you feel good things, but nonetheless, it's all bogus. It's all counterfeit light, the light of Lucifer. Even the Bible says that Lucifer disguises himself as an angel of light to deceive many. And astrology and all this other stuff, I think that's just another one of his mechanisms to deceive people. This may be a stretch, but I think it's still worth mentioning because I try to read into things, especially being a researcher and just spotting occult symbolism, esoteric symbolism in the mainstream media. 33 and that Charlie Kirk assassination, 33 and what happened in Minnesota with that girl Renee Good. Nick Fuentes. Nick is Nicholas. It is Saturn, Saturnalia, Saint Nicholas, Santa Claus. The Nick Fuentes movement could be tied. It could be another form of another vehicle, another vessel used by Saturn. That movement could still be controlled opposition. It can still be part of the Matrix, even though it's disguised to be its philosophy promotes itself as exiting the Matrix because of exposing Israel and stuff like that. But again, it can still be part of the Matrix, though, because it's probably a far stretch, but I think it's still worth mentioning because I try to look into names, numbers, dates, people that were involved, because this is how secret societies work. The occult, esoteric beliefs, that's how they work. White magic, that's how they operate. They've always operated like that, hiding the truth in plain sight, telling you what's to come before it actually comes. So that's one thing that I thought about the other day.